Hello, Mr. Bradshaw. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man? How you?
I'm good. Long time no see.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So thank you for joining our the Anderson Street Project neighborhood chat.
Thank you for
Uh,
having me.
of course, this is just a time for us to in this really strange time that we're in to connect with artists, especially the ones who are in the Philly area, just to find out how they're doing, what they're working on, and it seems like you've been very busy. And we will get into all the cool stuff that you're working on.
Yes, yes. It's been a little busy, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. So the first question that we ask everyone who joins our chat is the simple but yet very complicated question, which is, how are you?
I'm good. This is the first time that we're all experiencing this. We have no frame of reference.
Yeah.
You know, I'm getting by like everybody else is getting by. We're just taking care of family, looking out for mom, making sure the kids are good, and trying to do the best we can to uh, stay sane,
Hmm.
to bury ourselves, which makes it easy for me to just bury myself in music. But just to thank God every day for His grace,
Yeah.
and trying to stay clean and healthy,
Yeah.
and trying to eat right, and do all the things we can, because this is only for a season.
That is true. Amen.
This is only for a season. This isn't going to be like how it's always going to be. I think things are going to be kind of like this.
Hmm.
Uh, things are going to be different after this. But
Yeah.
I think we're going to be okay after this. We're going to be smarter. We're going to love each other a lot more after this. I think this has brought us all closer together.
Hmm.
Because so many of us have uh, have have lost loved ones and friends, and
Yeah.
so this is it's going to be it's been interesting. It's been very, very interesting. Like I said, there's nothing to compare this to, but we just lean on get the God that we love, lean
Yeah.
on the God that we love to pull us through. But thank God that we have loved ones and family members, and we have great music to listen to, and that helps us heal and
Hmm.
gets us trying to kind of gets us through these tough times.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you've been a touring musician for how long?
26 years.
Oh, wow. So I know you also had a health challenge a few years ago. So
Mhm.
I'm assuming that was probably the first time you were forced to take a break.
Right,
And this would be the second time, I would
right,
assume.
right. I mean, yeah, but this is different though. This is
Yeah.
different. You know, I was forced to take a break, got myself together, got my health together, and
Hmm.
after a year, I was able to get back on the road and to change my eating habits, change the way I did things, and but this is different. This is
Yeah.
like, oh, there's no work.
Hmm.
Oh, there are no shows. There's no
Yeah.
tours. There's nothing.
Yeah.
It's like
How was it
there's no.
hearing? When did you realize that that was a reality?
Uh, once I saw once AEG and Live Nation, went public and was like, yeah, no more concerts, no more tours, it's over. And
Hmm.
then of course you got the emails from my agent and my manager, and that's when it got real. That's when it was like, oh, so those 13 shows that we have in April, no,
Yeah. Hmm.
13 shows in April between my touring schedule and my touring schedule with Patti Labelle. I had
Yeah.
13 shows in April. 13 shows in April.
Yeah. Yeah.
They all just went away. And that was just in the month of April, you know, but um, it has allowed me to just really focus on just my calmness,
Mm-hmm.
focus on the new music, and making sure that I have all of that together to present to the people while they're going through this tough time.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could get right into it. So, I mean, you just released, and I mean, it seems, not, and I don't say this in a negative way, but it seems like you're always releasing music and honestly, good, really, really, really good music, which I'm sure your fans are always happy to see. But you just released a new collab with Raheem Devaughn, which is a cover of Prototype.
Yes, yes, yeah,
How did,
yeah.
if you don't mind telling the folks how that came together?
Um, well, Rob Glasper and Raheem Devaughn, those are my brothers. you
Yes.
know,
Uh-huh.
that's family. You know,
Right.
so we've worked together before. Raheem's worked on my single before. Rob Glasper was on my single for the live album,
Yes.
All Time Love with Eric Roberson and Tweet.
Yes. I
So
was at that show, by the way.
you were at the live recording.
Absolutely. Oh yes.
Ooh.
One of the best performances I've ever seen. It not even at the Kimmel, but period. It was an amazing show.
What a night that was, right?
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, I was very excited about this record. Um, Coming off the Kimmel Center album,
Mm-hmm.
it was really important that I put my foot back in it hard and heavy, because people were trying to figure out, how is he going to come back from that album? That was just
Yeah.
wasn't just an album, and it was an experience,
Mm-hmm.
And so it took me 2.5 years after my illness. I began to work on this album, and it took me about 2.5 years, almost 3 years to where we're about to release it. But it took me about over 2 years to record this album, because there were certain people that I wanted to work with on certain songs and
Yes.
certain moods. And, it was really important, and I didn't want to wait. The live album, the Kimmel Center album, came out in 2015. So I was like, we waited this long. I was like, I'm gonna wait until I can release it the right way with the songs on it that I want on it, the people on the album that I want on the album. And all the way up to the end, I was recording all the way up until I was like, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with how this album turned out. But Prototype was always a favorite song of mine.
Mm.
It was always a favorite song of mine. I'm a big Andre 3000 fan.
Yes.
I'm a big Andre 3000 fan. He just lives in no boxes.
Yes.
His creativity is always amazing, and he lives in no boxes. He always, lets his creativity live, and I've always been a big fan of his and a big fan of the song. So I felt like that we needed to kick the album off with a song that I love, and a song that I thought that we can make sexy and keep it classy as well.
Yeah.
And that's what Rob and Raheem helped me bring forth with this record and with the video.
So, what if I could go back in time a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
I was one of the media outlets that covered your tribute performance at the TLA during your sickness. And
You were
what did
there?
that take? I was there, absolutely. Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was. You could feel the love in the room.
That
From
night
beginning,
was.
I was there from beginning to end. Saw every performance. I just always wanted to know because I don't think I've heard you say ever since that. Because now we've had at least 3 years since that moment.
2006, 2016,
4 years.
4 years.
So, what did that day mean to you? Mm. Mm.
You never know who your friends are.
Yeah.
You never know who your friends are. You never know how you how you go through your life and how you touch people.
Mm.
You don't know. You try to go through life and you make mistakes here and there. You stumble here and there, but you try to make good decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And when you down, and when you go down publicly, and you don't know how you've affected people or how you've touched people, and that night uh, showed me that I was um, I was loved,
Yeah.
not
Mm.
just not just by my peer group, because good God, man, look who's there that night
Yeah.
with, you know, but by the love that was expressed to me from people around
Mm.
this world, people that I didn't even know knew who I was. I
Mm.
was getting messages and inboxes and in my DM and inbox messages. I was getting so many messages from people who I had no idea knew who I was. I had no idea that these people even knew who I was. You know, and you
Mm.
think you're doing good and well, but
Yeah.
there were people who showed up. There were artists who showed up that night that weren't invited.
Wow. Yes. Yeah.
There were
Mm-hmm.
surprised people that just wanted to come to show me love, and that was just again another one of those nights in Philadelphia that you just can't, like the Kimmel Center live recording and the night of the benefit concert. You know, the painting is right there on the wall. Look, remember
Mm-hmm.
the painting?
I do remember the painting. Absolutely. Yes.
Let me show you the painting.
Yeah. That's it. So for those who weren't there, so at his tribute performance, this painting was given to him. I believe they were painting it throughout the night, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Incredible artist out of DC, my homeboy Demont Pender,
Mm.
who I met years ago touring with Raheem Devaughn. Demont
Ah,
Pender, he used to, incredible artist, man. He is so phenomenal. If you don't know his work, man, definitely follow him everywhere. Demont Pender, he is unbelievable. He's a good friend of mine. He's a good friend of mine, and he came, and that was one of his specialties, that he painted this live. He paints live. He painted live on stage. That's something that he's one of his specialties, that he painted like during concerts. When I saw him with Raheem Devaughn, he was like starting a painting, and by the end of the concert, he was done. So,
yeah.
so he started this piece, uh, uh, and on stage at the TLA.
Hmm.
Yeah, man.
So this is just the fan in me. What happened that night that because I that nobody saw but hit you in a way. So for example, like what happened behind the scenes, like with a particular artist that kind of shocked you, or if there was like a story that we didn't see as fans in the audience.
What you didn't see was, and a lot of this was for the live album too, to walk backstage and see Robert Glasper
Mm-hmm.
and Raheem Devaughn, Robert Glasper, Raheem Devaughn, Bilal, Mesa,
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Lattimore,
Yeah.
um, uh, Jill Scott, uh, Kendrick the Family Soul, uh, Marcus and Gene Baylor, the Baylor Project,
Mm-hmm.
and then see DJ Cool.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, let me clear my throat, DJ Cool.
Right.
What are you doing here? Like, and then Sugar Bear from EU,
Uh-huh.
and, and I'm like, DJ Cool knows who I am. Like Sugar Bear knows who I am.
Uh-huh.
You're like, why are you here? Like, what is happening? And to see the electricity and the excitement um, between the artists backstage, like that fellowship backstage between these artists, you know. Tony Rich in the building. What's up, Tony Rich? What you know about Tony Rich?
Listen, don't let this face fool you. I'm old enough for Tony Rich now.
That's my brother right there. It's my brother right there, Tony Rich.
Hey, Tony Rich, thanks for joining.
The Tony Rich.
The Tony Rich, absolutely, absolutely.
So to see all of those artists, backstage together, and to see the conversations, and you know, and I was just kind of walking around crying all night because of the love was just so overwhelming that, you know, it was just hard not to cry.
Yeah.
It was just, you know, algebra, you know, it was my sister algebra. It was rough, man. It was trying not to cry all night was just rough.
Yeah.
You know, and to know that you were loved, and, you know, algebra wrote on her post, you know, for that night. She wrote, you know, when one of us goes down, we all come running.
Yes.
You know, that's just, you know, I don't care what people say about the music business and the cliques and this and that. And I'm like, you know, I got family. I have family in this business.
Yeah.
They don't have enough that love. I have family in this business that love me, and I'm cool with all of that.
Did you realize that you had family before then, or was it cemented that night?
I knew. I knew that I had family. Yeah. I mean, when, you know, if you're in love with someone and they always tell you they love you, that's cool.
Yeah.
When something happens and then they have to show you they love you. You know, it's like, I knew you loved me, but wow.
Yeah.
It really feels good. You know, my mom always, you know, I think my mom always used to say, you know, love is an action word.
Yeah.
You know? Pat Williams, Houston, Texas in the building.
So after, you know, just to kind of also bring it back up, after you kind of healed, one of the first projects or one of the first jobs that you got was working with the legendary Patti Labelle. Joining her band. So can you tell us what it's like touring with, honestly, like probably at the point, you know, one of the best voices on the planet?
Crazy, because I did the first call I got to tour with Patti was in 2012, a couple years, about 3 years before I did the live album. It was a short summer run.
Okay.
But after the live album and after my illness, and after the live album came out, and, you know, and then a couple years after that, and yeah, like about 2 years ago, I got the call, and was kind of cool. It was interesting because I've gotten to a point where I was like, you know, not going to really, hey, playlist family. I got to a point where I was going to definitely spend more time doing Jeff Bradshaw.
Yeah.
So much touring with other artists, because I've done that for almost half my life, you know, and I wanted to really spend more time doing Jeff Bradshaw and not spend so much time touring with anyone else. So, and I was pretty solid about how I felt about that. So when the call came when the call came back to tour with Patti LaBelle, you know, I was like, you know, I mean, her son and manager Zuri Edwards is, you know, one of my dudes, friends for, you know, over 20, 25 years. And obviously, Patty's a Philly icon. We've worked together before, and she is amazing. The members of the band, the background singers, the band. I mean, that's like my family. I feel like I've toured with them for 30 years. You know, they're like family. You know, and the environment around the Patti Labelle camp is just family. You know, it's just family. And so when the call came, I was excited about it, and looking at it, as long as I could honor my Jeff Bradshaw dates.
Yes.
As long as I could honor my Jeff Bradshaw dates, I would love to. And not every artist is going to allow you to do that.
Because I mean, she also has what's his name? His former name was Tone on drums, right? Why is his name escaping me?
B Slade.
Yes, B Slade. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a background. He's a background featured singer, percussion. You know, he's just a super duper talented individual and an amazing person to work with as well, and a really dope person to be around as well. He's so amazing and inspiring, and a really kind individual. And she loves him. And when he came, because Kyla Jade was Kyla Jade was with us before B Slade, and then she went on to be a finalist with The Voice.
Yes.
So that's when about a month after that, B Slade walked into rehearsal. I was like, what?
Wow.
I was like, what? B Slade?
That's crazy.
I was like, so I had to I was having a fan moment because I've been following B Slade since the beginning. Since the very first Tone CD in the 90s.
Yeah.
In the 90s,
And it's so interesting how, I mean, you talk about, the Finally Karens and the Kimberell album. I feel like that Tone album was really one of those albums that changed the gospel music.
He was so far ahead.
Yeah.
And still is.
Still is, absolutely.
And still is. If you hear any of the stuff that he's doing right now, it's just, he's still one of the most creative minds walking this planet. I'm telling you, man. People have no idea how incredibly talented and forward-thinking B Slade is.
Yeah.
I love working with him. We worked together on a piece for my record, too.
Oh, I can't wait. Can't wait. So what inspires you now?
Oh, man. My children. My children. They are my number one inspirations. I have 4 children, 3 girls, Bianca, Maya, Kayla. And Maya and Kayla are in their senior year in college. They're in their senior years in college.
Nice.
Clark, they're both at HBCUs.
Oh, wonderful. I went to Morehouse.
Oh, okay. Kayla's at Clark, Atlanta.
Okay.
And Maya's at Fort Valley State.
Nice.
And my son Madison, baby boy, he's the baby boy like me. His locks longer than yours. He's like 11. He's like 11 years old. He's like 11 years old with locks down on his shoulders. He's beautiful. And my children and my hero, who is Carrie Bradshaw, my mother, those are my life inspiration. Those are the reasons why I work so hard. And people that know me know that that Jeff is kind of high on life. I'm just thankful that I have an opportunity to play this music and see the world with this gift that God gave me.
Yeah.
That I didn't get at any musical institution or in college. What I have, God gave me in my mother's womb. A lot of people don't know that I'm self-taught. And my father
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, my father taught me to play. My father taught me how to play trombone.
Wow.
And several other instruments that I played with. But my father taught me to play trombone. I played trombone because my father played it. And he was the coolest person. He was the coolest person walking the earth to me. So, you know, um, uh, so playing trombone was like almost in honor of him. I grew up in church with it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So um, I just wanted to be like him. And so I'm just blessed to have this gift on this instrument that's really not that common at all, doing what I do with it.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with being in my own lane. I'm okay with sometimes people having nothing to, you know, sometimes people need something to compare you to so they can be comfortable liking it, you know, when they can be comfortable liking it. And it was like, what did Prince have? What did Prince, who was Prince looking at? Little Richard, Sly and the Family Stone, probably. Like everybody's inspired by something, you know, but these people that cut their own way, like Prince was like, we had never heard anything like that.
Right, yeah.
You know, Michael Jackson, like these artists that, not that I'm Prince or Michael Jackson,
right,
you know, but I'm just saying that when they have nothing to compare you to,
yeah,
a lot of times it's like, oh, in mainstream music, and mainstream soul music, and mainstream smooth jazz, or in these mainstream places and areas, this sounds kind of cool. So I was like, well, you know, I always try to bring some special guests along.
Yeah.
To keep people in a little bit of a comfortable place. But now I just record the music I want to record, bring in artists that I love, artists that I respect, artists that I think that work well with what I do. And that's what we've been able to do so far.
So what do you think about the music your kids are listening to? So like when your kids are blasting music in their group bedrooms, like what do you think of it?
I try to be, well, my daughters were their mothers, and I would try to educate them what good music is, you know, and it doesn't have to be what we like,
right?
As long as it's something that speaks to you, because you know our parents didn't like the music that we listened to,
right?
You know, and my parents brought me up listening to all kind of music, but
right.
You know, when I started listening to hip hop, you know,
right.
back in the 80s,
right?
EPMD and all that, you know, my parents weren't trying to hear that. You know, they were trying to get me to church on Sunday.
Right.
But my daughter's here, you know, my daughter Kayla, and they keep me up on, like my daughter Kayla picked me up from the airport in Atlanta and a few years back. And I was like, who is that you listening to? And she was like, it's her. My daughter Kayla put me on her. And this is when her first came out.
Yes.
This is when she first came out. My daughter Kayla put me on her. And I was like, I mean, because I know her mother, you know, because I toured with Jill for, you know, almost 20 years or whatever. And so she was very educated in what good music was. Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Lauryn Hill, like, you know, she knows what good music is. So, you know, but then my son, you know, the 11-year-old, you know, it's really about, okay, what are they listening to?
Right.
You know? So I got to, you know, I'm like, who is that? The baby. Lil Yachty, the baby. And I was like, apparently there are 3 babies. There's like the baby, Lil baby, and baby, right? It's like 3. I'm like, you know, I'm all about, you know, the message.
You gotta love the creativity though, right?
I'm like, you know, I ain't crapping on them. You know, I'm like, I try to offer alternatives. I'm like, man, that's decent. Have you heard this? Have you heard this? Have you heard that? Because I don't want them to think that everything he listens to is trash. I mean, because my son, he comes to my shows and like he knows what real music is. He's ever since he was a baby, he'd be on the side of the stage at my shows. Ever since he was a child, my children, my daughters, ever since they were children, they were young children. When Maya and Kayla, when they were like 8, 9 years old, they were like, I would have them out on tour when I was on tour with Floetry. Yeah, when I had them out on tour when I was with Floetry, they were like 8, 9 years old on the tour bus.
Nice.
Yeah, so, you know, they've been around it. They've been around like real music and what that is. So, you know, I try to expose them to that. So, you know, they're not easily wild.
Yeah. That's a good thing.
My children are easily wild. You know, they've been around celebrities and tour buses and all the nice hotels and that kind of stuff, and fans taking pictures and people like, can I take a picture with you? You know, and all that. My son, you know, he he loves the summertime because the summertime is when me and my ex-wife, we share custody with my son, but in the summertime I get to keep him for the summer. So then I take him out with me, you know, on the road, on the festivals and all that. He loves that because his mother's a singer. His mother's a singer as well.
Okay.
So he comes out with me on the festivals. I do the whole festival tour, the whole festival circuit, the jazz festival circuit, and he loves that with the food and hotels, people taking pictures on the side of the stage, you know, he's all about that. And I'm like, why would you want to share that with your children? Why would you want your children to see you stand up and entertain thousands of people and watch you, you know, like that is a dream for my children to see me, to be able to do that and to be able to give them good lives and put them through college and, you know, all those things that we're blessed with, you know. So.
Well, I just want to give one shout out. Mike Clemens says hello. Shout out to the legendary Big Mike Clemens.
Big Mike!
And I also want to let people know if they have any questions, feel free to send them over and Jeff will hopefully answer them. So you touched on, you know, being on the tour buses with Jill and Floetry. And I think, you know, that time from the year 2000 all the way up to like 2004, 2005 was just such an interesting time in Philly because there were just so many artists coming from the area, you know, building these legitimate crazy careers. I mean, we're talking Jaguar Wright. We're talking about of course, you know, the Black Lily movement. You know, the Roots were out of, you know, off the planet at that point. How did it feel being a part of that history during that time?
You know, what's really cool about that is we didn't really consider us being a part of a historic movement. We were just doing what we did in Philly. Yeah. That's just what we did. We got together in certain places, Black Lily and Silk City and Wilhelmina's. And we got together in these places, Fluid. We had Questlove and Rich Medina and DJ Mike Nice, DJ at Club Fluid. And you know.
Rest in peace, Fluid. That was a great place.
You know. Yeah. I mean, that's just what Philly did. We got together and we just had creative pods of places. The Roots had their studio with their producers, and then Jazzy Jeff had a touch of jazz, Church of Jazz Productions. You know, which you know all the stuff that came out of that. Yeah. You know, and you know, so we just went from the clubs to the studios, to the clubs, and you know, and that's just what we were doing. You know, I never looked at it like, man, this is a historic movement, what we doing. You know, people were just like, man, we were just having fun and being creative and not really caring about what people thought. We just had we knew we had a movement. I'm pretty sure everybody knew that this was a movement. Yeah. That you had to come to Philly to get it. Yeah. Whatever this was, that you could only get here.
Right.
That there was something in the water in Philly. There's something special going on here in Philly. Something really organic going on here in Philly. Thank God for the roots.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for the roots.
Mm-hmm.
And Rich Nichols.
Mm-hmm.
And the masterminds behind the Black Lily, and what that was able to do for us as musicians and artists, and for what it did for our city on a
What do you
global
think it
scale.
did for you? Like, what personally for you? What did it do for you, the Black Lily?
It allowed me to be exactly who I was, and to be comfortable on stage and in a room with a room full of creatives.
Mm-hmm.
And we all weren't in the Black Lily trying to get record deals.
Yeah.
We were all in the Black Lily just trying to be in our creative space with our family playing music. Mm-hmm. It was our fellowship. That was our church. That was like Philly. Mm-hmm. That was like Philly jam session church.
Yeah.
It was, that's what it was. It was a place where we came together to fellowship, where we broke bread with each other, on stage, and that's what it was. And it was, God only knows who you were going to see.
Yeah.
And because the concerts, whoever was in town the night before, or that night, or the night after, the night before or that night, they were going to stay and to come to the Black Lily. Mm-hmm. You never know who was going to be there.
Yeah.
So it was an honor to be a part of that.
What would it take for Philly to get another movement such as that?
I don't know, man.
Do you think it could ever be replicated?
No. I think something can be done like that again. Yes. That can't be replicated. That can't be replicated. There's too many intangibles. The times. Yeah. To think about what was going on, during those times. I don't think that can be replicated. I don't think you can do that over. You need people were just in a different place, and music was in a different place.
That's true.
Music was in a different place. People were in a different place. The world was in a different place, and just like how neo soul music was like, oh my God, neo soul music was like the thing. Neo soul music, neo soul is, and when the record companies, okay, oh cool, so we have this thing, we got something, we can put a label on it, neo soul, cool, and when the record companies felt like that neo soul music didn't generate the amount of money that it needed to generate as a genre of music, then the record companies moved on from the neo soul artists, and the only ones that survived on that level were the ones that were big. Your Laurens, your Maxwells, your Jills, your Ericas, the Music Soul Childs, Marsha Nat, like that's the, and everybody else, is like kind of went independent. You had some that's still around, like your Vivian Green still around, but I mean, you don't even hear the word neo soul anymore.
I know.
They just call it like soul music. They're scared to say that, because it might be, what is neo soul? Wendy Williams called neo soul people like that. They call us
she said the dirty backpack.
The dirty backpack. The dirty backpack clique. That's what Wendy Williams called us. The dirty backpack clique. It was like, Okay, from your perspective, I get it.
Uh-huh.
You know, from your perspective, I get it. But I, I was honored to be a part of that movement. Honored to be a part of those albums.
Yeah.
Honored to be a part of those tours. Those all those Jill Scott firsts.
Mm-hmm.
First time on TV. First time on the Tonight Show. First time on this. First time at Radio City Music Hall. First time at, at these small clubs where she started and to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I was honored to be a part of those movements. And it's so now we have the independent market.
Right.
We're all on indie labels.
Yeah.
Do
you see that as because I mean, I don't know. I'm at this point very for independent situations because of the way that record labels have historically mistreated Black artists.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you feel about the independent label situation now?
I think it's the only way to go.
Mm.
Indie label is the only way to go. I mean, it's the best thing for us. We have a way to put out our own music, get a distribution deal, put out our own music, especially if you already have a fan base.
Right.
We have to wait around for years and years like I did between 2003 and 2009, or 2003 and 2012. Had to wait 9 years to put out my second
right.
album. When I was signed to Hidden Beach.
Mm-hmm.
We had to wait because they were waiting to see who record they were going to put out next. I was down the pole. I had to wait. Jill or Kendrick, Family Soul. I had to wait. I was in that kind of position. So that kind of sucked. But you can put your records out independently on your own. You got a fan base. You don't have to bother with any of that.
Yeah. So like what do you want to so after this is all over, like let's say 2021 comes and now supposedly the shows and whatnot are coming back, like what are your goals coming out of this space that we're in?
To drop this new album, to have people very excited, healed and touched by this new music, and to go out and tour to a more caring and loving world.
Can you dwell on that more?
Absolutely. People now are more in touch with a lot of things. Unfortunately, a lot of it's come from loss, loss and disparity. But I think that we're going to love more because of it. We're going to show a lot more care because of it.
Yeah.
And we're going to show a lot more love and care and kindness because of this. When we come out of this, we're going to be a more loving and a kinder, more loving world, man. And that's my prayer. That's what I hope. And that's what I think. And it's out of these tragedies, this is what comes out of it. And I hope that this one hurts, man. This one really, really hurts. People are dying. Friends and family members and people that we know. Oh, my next door neighbor. Yeah, he died, man. What? It's like every day you're scared to answer the phone because you don't know who died today, or who died yesterday, or who died. It's like, man, people my age, people younger than me, people older than me. It's like, good Lord, man, this thing is vicious. I'm just truly happy that I'm still here to hopefully, as long as God will allow me to be here, to deliver this new music because I believe it's really, really going to heal. Really going to heal.
How would you describe the new album?
It's called Stronger. because it's every bit of who I am now and what I've been through. So it helped me. This was therapy for me. Coming back physically, spiritually, and emotionally.
Right.
You know, that's the 3 phases of what this album is that helped me to get back to who I am now. And it happens to be an album that helped heal me. I mean, because I listened to this album for the last 2 years. You know, it helped me. It helped me. Help me. You know, help me.
Can you give us some hints, like who else is on the album? We obviously know Robert and Raheem are on it. Like who else is? And I think you mentioned Algebra Blessed, right?
Oh no, Algebra's not on the new album, even though that's my home.
Yeah.
But on the new album is Ryan Devaughn, Robert Glasper, Jeff Morrell, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Chubb Rock, the Grammy Award winning Christian McBride, Amber Jean from Moonchild, Glenn Lewis, Frank McComb, Glenn Lewis, Frank McComb,
Legends only.
Legends only. I'm trying to think. It's like so many people. Trombone Shorty is on this album.
Okay.
I actually went to New Orleans. It's the last song. It's the last song he recorded. The last song I recorded on the album. Went to New Orleans and hung out with him. Went to his studio, and we got a chance to fellowship and hang out. We hadn't spent time together in a while, so we had a chance to go to New Orleans and hang out and just kind of hang out with him in New Orleans. And the song is called War and Thunder. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, so many. Paula Champion's on the album.
Okay.
Paula Champion, Mike Burton. My boys from the smooth jazz world, Lynn Roundtree, trumpet player. Marquel Renee Jordan. Brian Culberson's on the album.
Nice.
It's a lot of people on this record, man. It's Nikki Miller, one of my favorite artists. Are you familiar?
I know the name. Absolutely, I do know the name.
Oh man, M-I-C-K-I Miller.
Okay.
Do yourself a favor.
Okay.
Nikki Miller, incredible. Right. She's just a genius. Yeah. She's a genius. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. I met her at the playlist retreat at Jazzy Jeff's house.
Okay. Again, legends only, because he don't like everybody in that. He don't let anybody in that.
No, I was at the playlist retreat, and I was like, "It's a pretty girl." And she was like in the room. It was like James Poyser and Daniel Crawford and like Kaidi from London, and it was like all these brilliant guys on the keyboards and in the studio. And she got on, and I was like, "Oh my God, who is that?" And I got to meet her and Nikki Miller, man. Okay. Unbelievable artist, producer, singer. She is unreal. So Nikki Miller, she did a song on the album called Closure. She's smoking, man. Smoking. I feel like I'm pretty sure I'm pulling, you know, I'm losing.
So when does the album come out?
June.
Okay, June. We can't wait. So we will of course be promoting it here at Anderson Street. So everybody, if it's available for pre-order yet?
Not yet. It will be in another 2 weeks.
Okay.
From what I understand, the second week of May, we're going to start doing pre-orders. But but we're just trying to lock down the actual day, because this is the first album that I'm releasing on my own label, Bone Deep Enterprises.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yes, that's entrepreneurship. We're into it.
Yes, this is the first album that I'm putting out on BDE, Bone Deep Enterprises, with the Purpose Music Group as I have a distribution deal with the Purpose Music Group, and they're with PJ Morton and Dwelle and many others. So I'm in very good company, very happy, putting out first album on my own label, first album on my own label, so I'm very excited. And I haven't really talked about that much because I don't want to put no more extra pressure on myself.
Right. Yes. You don't do that. You gotta
put no more extra pressure on myself. Like, not only is this fourth album, but he's putting it out on his new record label. I'm
right.
like, But yes, I'm very excited. This is my first album on my label that I'm putting out independently. So I'm very excited. Very, very excited.
So again, I want to remind people, if you guys have questions, we have a few more minutes left before Instagram kicks us off. So if you guys have some questions, I see our friends from the Sites podcast here. Shout out to y'all. We did talk about the live performance at the Kimmel Center. We did touch on that, and then we also touched on his tribute performance as well. So one of the questions I have, so what are the artists saying to each other during their time? So like during this time, so like, and I mean, you don't have to name names, but I mean, I'm sure your artist friends might be going through it, and you know, all sorts of anxiety and whatnot. Like, how are you guys unionizing during this time?
You know what, man? It's really, you know, we've all banded together. You know, I've talked to a lot of my friends, and everybody's encouraging one another, bouncing ideas off each other, figuring out what we can do together to do this and to that. You know, I have great friends: Kenny Lattimore, Will Downing, Raheem, Najee. I mean, these guys are my, you know, they're like my friends, my mentors, my big brothers. You know, so everybody's bouncing ideas off each other and just encouraging one another. Nobody's in like, you know, a tough place. If somebody is, I'm sure everybody knows how to find help, or if you need help, or you need to find help, or you need help. Everybody's looking in other ways to get help, you know. But I'm truly just lucky and thankful and blessed that that I have that kind of family, and you know, it's a blessing, man, to have family. I'm telling you, man, it's a blessing to have family.
Yeah. Well, I think I have all my questions answered. I just also want to.
Good night. No, good night, y'all.
But no, we're not letting anybody go without finding ways for people to find out more about you. So if you can just let people know how they can follow you, what websites, what social media accounts, what albums they should be listening to, all that stuff.
First of all, on all social media, I am Jeff Bradshaw. I am Jeff Bradshaw on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook. I am Jeff Bradshaw. My website is iamjeffbradshaw.com. www.iamjeffbradshaw.com. Any music that you need to be listening to is, if you haven't gotten, you don't have my new album yet because it hasn't come out yet, but definitely want to check out my live album. If you don't know about the live album, just type in Jeff Bradshaw and Friends and download and go get it.
Listen, 3 words: I do sincerely. That's the song on that.
Right. I mean, and everybody just keep your hands clean, keep your mask on, keep wearing your gloves. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Of course. Please. It was our honor. Thank you so much for reaching out. Again, everybody stream Prototype now.
Absolutely. Get it now.
Get it now. It's on all the streaming outlets, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So do that. And we bid everybody adieu. We will be back on Wednesday with the one and only Natalie Imani. If you do not know her, she is the lead background vocalist for John Legend. And she was also...
She's amazing.
Amazing, right? And also, for those who may not know, she was the singer on SNL when Cardi B did her pregnancy announcement. So the girl singing...
Natalie's bad. She's a bad girl. She's a bad girl.
Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for joining, and we will see you then, Mr. Bradshaw. It was our honor.
Thank you, guys. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you. Everybody stay safe. Love you guys.
All right, bye.
Take care.